this is the 7th wonder of East Ridge. Me and Mr. Eric Friday, right? I think that's what it is. We are heading up to Bass Pro Shop to meet the pros, the Major League Fishing pros. They'll be there from like 4 to 7 this evening. So we're excited on who we're going to get to meet. And the plan is to ask them either what's the craziest thing that's happened to them on the water or the craziest fish catch. That's the 2 questions that I'm going to ask and hopefully get some good responses. Stay tuned. I'm here with Edwin Evers. Craziest fish catch or the craziest moment on the water ever?
This is a true story. One time at Kentucky Lake in June, I threw out there and I got kind of snagged in this brush pile, and I hooked a dead bass in the mouth, and it was graveyard dead. I guess he got broke off because he had another lure, and he was caught in that brush pile, and somehow like my bait made it in his mouth, and I reeled in a dead like 2.5 pounds. Yeah, that's my craziest catch.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. Here with Greg Vinson, he's got a story for y'all.
All right, so they asked me about the craziest fish catch, and the one that's freshest on my mind just happened at the Harris Chain at Stage 3 just a little over a week ago, and I was throwing a jerkbait over hydrilla patches, and I got about 3 jerks, and one just smashed it, and I loaded it up, and usually I can get them coming to the boat. This one dove right into the middle of the grass bed. I can feel it shaking around. Thought I was going to lose it.
Yeah.
Long story short, I trolled in there. I didn't know if the fish was still there or not. I took my lure retriever that I used to usually get out of brush piles, and because I didn't want to run my hand down there with 9 hooks on there, and ran it underneath the grass and basically kind of cut the grass.
That's awesome.
And as soon as I did, like the fish just floated. It was right there in my face. I was like, oh, it's still there.
That's awesome.
Put him in the boat. So scoreable bass.
Yeah, that's definitely a crazy one. Craziest moment on the water.
All right, my craziest moment on the water?
Yeah.
I was probably about 14 or 15, and me and my partner was Big Donnie and Dane, and we was in the growback, body called the growback, and when we turned the corner, there were some people, a couple on the front of a boat being physical.
Oh, that is crazy.
True story.
Yeah, that's wild.
It's a non-tournament story, but that is a true story.
That is wild. That is wild. Jonathon VanDam, he's got a crazy fish catch for you, or a crazy moment on the water.
Man, one of my most memorable moments for sure was at Toledo Bend. It was we were flipping hay grass, is what it was at the time, and I was pitching a real heavy weight. I hung one, and I seesawed back and forth with it. And I knew it was a big one, but it was back in there a little ways. I tried to pull it through. I couldn't pull it through that stuff. So I tried to get in there in my trolling motor. Couldn't get in there in my trolling motor. Had to back up a little bit, pull my trolling motor up, put my life jacket on, meanwhile holding the rod, and have this fish pin here, and you can feel it, feel it pulling a little bit. And I get up there, and of course there's a lot of alligators and stuff like that, big giant snapping turtles. Man, I ain't really sure. I never did see it. Never did see what it was, but I mean, surely I felt like it had to be a bass, right? So I reached my hand down through there, and I'm pulling grass out, and I had to go hang over the side and get my whole arm wet to get through this mat down into the underneath it, and I grabbed it. It was an 8.5 pounder.
Damn, that's awesome.
It was one of the.
I had to work for it.
Yeah, exactly. But I had to work for it. For sure.
That's awesome.
No doubt about that.
I appreciate it. Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
All right, that's a wrap. There's only like 4 or 5 anglers that was there. I don't know. We left, went to eat, came back, and it was still the same anglers. So we decided to just come back up here tomorrow. We'll check it out. Alright guys, just pulled in here to the Bass Pro Shop for day 2 of the MLF meet and greet. Let's go see what pros we run into.
Man,
there's Mr. Eric again.
Been a day. It's been a day.
I got any advice to give him on traveling?
On traveling, do not go south on I-24 or east, whichever way it is. Find an alternate route.
Chris Lane here. He's gonna tell you about a crazy fish catch or a crazy time on the water.
Man, I gotta tell you, it doesn't have anything to do with bass. It has to do with me and my brothers and our buddies. We were down in the Everglades We were all sitting there having lunch, chilling out, threw some dead jack out. We were gonna catch some sharks, so we thought. We hooked this one, biggest hammerhead I ever seen. It came up. We ended up cutting the line. We were that scared. It was about a 14-footer. You can ask my brother. He's right over there. Crazy.
There you go. That is awesome. I appreciate it. Here with Andy Montgomery. Got a crazy fish catch or a crazy time in the water to tell you.
A crazy fish story because I love to fish boat docks. And I pulled up on this dock and I went to skip a jig under this dock. And there was something about that big stuck his head out from the dock and looked at me. It scared me to death. It was a snake. He had to be that long, that big around.
I packed it up and left,
yeah, well, I did. But the homeowner was up there and I said, hey, there's a snake on y'all's dock. I just wanted you to know. Oh, that's George. I said, George? They said, yeah, that's George. He won't hurt you. I said, he might not hurt me, but he'll make me hurt myself if he come got my boat. So here they come walking down the boat. They peek over the side and they like, hey George, how you doing, buddy? I'm telling you, this thing was so big that it could have ate their grandkids with one swallow.
George.
So George the snake.
That's wild.
That made me not fish that dock.
I wouldn't go anywhere.
I didn't want to get hung up on that dock. I didn't want him to fall on my line. To be honest with you, he gave me the heebie-jeebies from like 50 foot away.
Yeah, I can't stand snakes either. I go the other direction.
Yeah, and I did.
Here with Jason Lambert. He's got a crazy fish catch or a crazy time on the water to tell you.
Well, I had this one time, you always hear these guys talk about, man, I caught this one with 2 minutes left and blah, blah, blah. You hear all them stories your whole life.
Yeah.
So we're on Potomac River. It's 2017 and it was about 113 degrees and I had 4. It was the second day. So I come back in thinking, crap, man, I had a chance to make a cut and I got 4 fish. Mattawoman Creek, you guys know that place if you've been up there. This big long grass point comes out. I just shut the boat down and jump on the front deck and pick up a swim jig. Don't even put the trolling motor in water. Fire a swim jig out there. I make 2 real turns on the handle. Bow up, boat flip a 3.5 pounder. Throw it in the live well, it's still hooked. I crank up and I ride over to the check-in boat and I reach in and got the bait out of the fish and go in and weigh my fish 3.5 pounds. I do have that one time that I caught one on my very last cast that came in.
That's awesome, yeah. Hooked in the live wells on the way to weigh in.
Rod land, didn't even strap nothing down. Rod land in the floor and the line literally still had a swim jig in its well.
So money's on the line, you do whatever.
It don't. You ain't got much time. Yeah, man, it's cool. So I can now say I caught one on my last cast.
That's awesome. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir, man.
Got the real John Cox right here. He's got a crazy time on the water or a crazy fish catch to tell you.
Oh gosh, so my it's got to be the craziest fish catch. Yeah. So it was actually this year, Lake Travis. You know, I was breaking off a ton of fish on the zebra mussels. Like they were all under the docks. You would hook them. They knew to run under those docks and jump into the zebra mussels. And gosh, I started figuring out, I was like, man, I got to do something different. So I would set the hook, open the reel up, and then I would just let the fish free swim. And I'd go and I'd stick the rod under the cable or through or under the dock, whatever I had to do. Grab the rod, flick the reel over, tighten up, and catch the fish.
That's wild.
And that's how I ended up catching like the last like 5 or 6. And I was like, gosh, I wish I would have just done that sooner.
Sometimes you just got to outsmart the fish. You know?
Yeah, it was honestly, it was a really fun tournament. And it was just, it was some awesome fish catches.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
I enjoy watching you on social media, live, everything. Hey, look, when I turn this camera on, I want you to say go dogs.
I'm not saying go dogs. I'm saying go hogs.
Well, like, what kind of hogs? Like Louisiana hogs?
Like Arkansas Razorback
Oh,
hogs.
see, that's a fake breed.
Pig suey.
They do have good food though. I'll add that in there. Day 2 of the Bass Pro Shop MLF meet and greet. Hope y'all enjoyed the footage. It's such an honor to talk to these anglers, like pick their brains with like the camera off, you know, like just talking to them, shooting the bull. Like they was all super nice. Chris Lane, Jason Lambert, Andy Montgomery, John Cox. Hope y'all enjoy the footage. What's going on, JL Fishing Crew? Today is day 3 of the Bass Pro Shop meet and greet. I have no idea who's going to be up there, but I'm sure I'm pumped because the past 2 days has been phenomenal. Awesome talking to the anglers, so we're excited. Hope we're going to get to meet this time. Y'all be sure to follow along. Here with Alton Jones Jr. He's got a crazy story to tell you.
Craziest thing that's probably ever happened to me on the water. I was fishing a team tournament back in college, and I hear my partner who's in the back of the boat go, "What the?" And about that time I hear splash and splatter all over my boat. Yeah. A duck flying over my boat laid an egg in mid-flight and landed on my passenger seat and obviously exploded. So that's
was
probably
it a lucky egg or what?
No, we didn't
catch him after that
day. But that's probably the craziest thing that's ever happened to me.
Oh man, well I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Here with Josh Bertrand, he's got something to tell you.
So yeah, I don't know, as far as crazy stories, craziest fish catches, probably the most embarrassing fish catch I ever had. I was fishing the Classic in 2016 at Grand Lake, and I was throwing a jerkbait. It was the second day of the tournament. I'd had a decent day the first day, and the second day is going terribly for me. I'm gonna end up missing the cut when I should have easily made it. Yeah. I've got like one fish. It's like 2 o'clock, and I'm back in this narrow little cove, and I happen to have 4 or 5 boats watching at the time, just in their rotation of watching boats, and I'm throwing a jerkbait. I got a real mushy rod. So I finally loads up, and it's a big one. And like I've been waiting all day for this, and if this is a 6 or 7, it's gonna get me in the cut, and it's all gonna be good. So I fight it to the boat, and I'm literally like kind of bending over and stuff, and I get it up, and it's a nasty old pair of underwear. And
underwear.
I literally would have swore it was a bass.
Yeah.
It's a pair of underwear.
That's wow.
That was it. That's all I caught all day long.
That probably won't happen again, will it?
I hope not.
Well, I appreciate it.
Heck yeah, man.
Here with Mr. KVD himself. He's got a crazy fish catch or a crazy time on the water to share with you.
Man, I was at Lake St. Clair, one of my favorite places to fish, and I'm out there and I'm throwing a crankbait for smallmouth, and I hooked something, and I'm like, it's a fish, but it just didn't move. Yeah. Well, Lake St. Clair is full of giant sturgeon. And I was, again, cranking out there, and I got hung on something, and it moved a little bit. Well, lo and behold, about 15 minutes later, I seen it. It's about a 6-foot sturgeon, and I had him hooked right here. He didn't eat it, but I just foul hooked him out in the middle of the water like that. So, I mean, I've caught a lot of crazy stuff and seen a lot of things, but in freshwater to catch something that's basically
big. And you landed it?
No, I tried to. I was in a tournament. So once I saw exactly what it was, I pulled it off and it pulled loose.
I don't blame you. I sure do appreciate it.
You bet.
It's nice meeting you. We've had such an awesome day here. Talked to a lot of pros, and we're gonna wait around for a little bit till we see some more come in. We might holler at them. Like, we've had such interesting things happen to us today. Like before we walked in, we met KVD in the parking lot. So awesome. But I'll tell you, the most interesting thing that I've come across is this curve right here, out in the middle of nowhere. I don't even. This is the 7th wonder of East Ridge. Like, why? I just want to. I mean, it's really intrigued me. A curb in the middle of nowhere. Hey, Bryce, what are you doing?
Well, making sure that curve ain't going nowhere.
I would be ashamed, wouldn't it?
It's got to be movable or something.
It's a portable curb. All right, guys, just made it back. Had a great weekend all together. Had a great day today. Look, today we met Edwin VanDam, Alton Jones Jr., Josh Bertrand, Brett Hyatt, saw Bradley Rory and Todd Faircloth, but they was already inside and busy doing their work stuff, so didn't really get to talk to them much. But the anglers we did get to talk to, it was great. When Bass Pro Shop and all these other places have events like this, go check them out, go to them. These anglers are super nice. They'll be glad to talk to you. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy these videos. We'll see y'all next time. All right, guys, got a Shimano Mantanium DC right here. I don't know if y'all can see, but this thing is sweet. It's got a computer chip built in that makes you cast perfectly, but guess what? I'm giving it away at 500 subscribers. I'm at 296 right now, so 204 more to go, and I'm giving this bad boy away. Look, all you gotta do, literally, all you gotta do is subscribe to the channel. Make sure your profile is public so I can see it that you subscribed. I'm gonna use a automatic computer generation thing, and it's gonna randomly pick a name, and that name will win this reel. Easy enough.
Thank you, Jesus.
Oh my God. Oh yeah.